following is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee.
Good morning. How's everybody doing? I've set my camera or my computer up on a little box, so we've got a different angle today. I hope it looks good for everybody. I got tired of showing my double chin from underneath, so like I said, we're going to change up a few things. We're going to talk about a lot of the same old stuff as we usually do. So we're going to talk. We're going to start with the Tennessee Volunteers first, and talk some SEC football with that. We're also going to move into the World Series matchup between the Phillies and the Astros, and then we're going to talk Titans football because I know they're 4-2, but it has not looked good. And then we're going to end it off with high school sports as we usually do. So let's get on into it. First take, like I said, going to be UT Vols and kind of the rest of what's going on in the SEC. I think personally, I think Tennessee fans are, they're ready for this week. Kentucky's coming up. Kentucky's got a really good football team. Mark Stoops is a good coach. But I think Tennessee's going to win this weekend. Kentucky is a good football team, like I said. And if they execute and do the things they want to do, they're going to make it really hard on Tennessee. I still think Tennessee wins, even if Kentucky's defense plays fairly decent and they run the ball really well. I'm not sure I see a way this game goes where Tennessee doesn't make Kentucky throw the ball at some point. And Will Levis, you can say he's a first-round quarterback. That's fine, but their offensive line is not a first-round offensive line. Tennessee's been able to get pressure on other teams' quarterbacks, so I think they're just going to continue to. I think they're going to continue to do that. If they get Kentucky into some obvious passing situations, it could get kind of ugly for the Wildcats. And Kentucky does not want a track meet. That they want. I think Josh Pate said to muddy up the game, and that's exactly what they want. They want to give the ball to Rodriguez. They want to hold the ball as much as they absolutely can. Tennessee scored 45 points against Kentucky last year with like 18 minutes of total offense, I think. So it doesn't take a lot of time for Tennessee to get scoring, but I'm having a hard time figuring out how Kentucky's going to win this game. So that makes me feel that makes me think Kentucky is going to play better than I expect them to. I kind of knew before the Florida game that Anthony Richardson would play his best game of his career, and he did. I knew the Alabama game was going to be tough. LSU went a lot better than I thought it would. But this Kentucky game, I think Tennessee should win. I think it's just a really, really bad matchup as far as tempo and style for Kentucky. I keep getting fantasy updates on my phone. Yeah, I know. I am ready for this week's matchup. I'll be fine. You worry about yourself, NFL Fantasy app. I'm 6-1 on the year, so leave me alone. Okay, there we go. But the rest of the SEC, kind of what I want to talk about. I don't really care about looking forward to the Georgia game. Tennessee needs to beat Kentucky first. I don't really want to talk about that. We'll talk about that next week. We'll go in and we'll talk about all the different stuff in the Tennessee-Georgia game that may be important. But there's a lot of other stuff going on. Ole Miss got ran by LSU. LSU looks like they should be a top 25 team. They are ranked now. That LSU-Alabama game, I don't think Alabama loses. I think Alabama is a better team. Nick Saban doesn't usually lose more than once in a season. I know that this is his most undisciplined team, and they don't quite have the first-round receivers like they've had in the last few years. So Alabama is struggling as compared to their standard, but they're still Alabama, and they're still a top 10 team. Got to go on. But I do believe that LSU can give them a run for their money. So Alabama could lose another one. Georgia, Florida. I've seen a lot of Florida fans that I think they think they're going to win, which is fine. I couldn't really care less, to be honest. Georgia and Florida can go wrestle in the mud as far as I can. I don't care. They can do whatever they want, give whoever they want to win. I do think, however, though, that Georgia's probably going to trounce Florida. I just think Florida has tools. They have great players. They got a first-year head coach, and he's still trying to get everything right. I don't think they're ready to beat a team like Georgia. Georgia's got a head coach that's been there for a few years. You can say whatever you want about Stetson Bennett, but he wins football games. He's not gonna get drafted in the first round. He's got a college national championship, and he helps them win football games. Kind of the same thing as Jake Fromm. Now, they let Justin Fields go so they could use Jake Fromm, and we see how that kind of worked out offensively for him. But again, I'm not the head coach, so it doesn't matter. I just don't see how Florida wins that game. It is getting kind of tight. Ole Miss losing kind of threw everything off for me because I kind of expected the Ole Miss Alabama game to mean a little bit more later on, and now I just don't see a universe where Ole Miss beats Alabama. So I believe Alabama's going to make it back to the SEC championship, and the East is going to be fought for next week. Even if Tennessee loses this week, I think next week, if they beat Georgia, they'd have only one SEC loss. That's assuming they wouldn't lose to Missouri or Vanderbilt or South Carolina. A lot of South Carolina fans are very confident about that Tennessee matchup in Columbia. I get that I'm a Tennessee fan. You can call me biased, you can call me whatever you want, but what on God's green earth gives you any confidence as a South Carolina fan if you've watched any of this Tennessee team play? If you've watched any of their games, what makes you think that they're going to show up and they're not going to score against your defense? 38 against Florida, 40 against LSU, 52 against Alabama, and you think you're the team that's going to slow down the offense. I don't see it, but whatever. Not my problem. I'm not a Gamecock fan. So we are going to do – I'm going to do a little DMA read real quick, and then we're going to let y'all go to commercial. Y'all get to hang out. Do whatever you want. Make sure you check out the commercial and come back, though. But Casey's Take is brought to you by DMA Orthopedics and Dr. Anthony Tropiano. Dr. Anthony Tropiano provides patients with prompt, effective treatment using the best technology available and in a manner that's compassionate and understanding of their needs. Dr. Tropiano is a board-certified orthopedic surgeon. Call 615-441-4522 today. That's 615-441-4522. Let's hit it.
At Dixon Medical Associates, your health is our number one priority. With over 40 providers, our goal is to bring excellent, convenient, and comprehensive medical care to our community. Dixon Medical Associates, a destination for care.
Now, of course, the second take I wanted to talk Phillies Astros. I was thinking about talking Titans, but I figured I'd throw a little baseball in the middle of the football there to keep everybody on their feet. Here's the only thing I can think. The entire way here, I've seen a lot of baseball talking heads and people on ESPN and folks. You got folks on social media. If you look at this game on paper, the Astros should win. The Astros, I personally believe, are the better team. I think they have more talent. I think their pitching is better. But for some reason, the Astros cannot beat National League East teams in the World Series. We saw it in 19 with the Nationals, and we saw it last year with the Atlanta Braves. So I I don't want to put anything past the Phillies. They're playing really hot baseball right now. They've got a lot of momentum. They're playing with a lot of confidence. Sounds a lot like the other teams that the Astros lost to in the World Series. So who knows what could happen? I do think, like I said, I do think the Astros are a better team. And if they win, I will not be surprised whatsoever. But I'm telling you right now, if the Phillies win, I will also not be surprised whatsoever, because the Astros just have some sort of an issue playing against these National League East teams. And I don't want to say that the Astros don't have momentum. They did I think they swept the Yankees, which is beautiful. As much as I hate the Astros and I know they cheated, the Yankees are still the evil empire, and they will always be the evil empire. I do think I do think that the Phillies could make a little bit of noise. I really don't want them to win anything, and not because they're in the Braves division, but because Philly fans just in general are some of my least favorite people. And I hope a lot of them watch this, because they'll get mad and send it to their buddies. And there's going to be a bunch of clicks on this video by Philly fans that just want to scream at their computer. And that's fine. If they didn't act that way every time somebody failed or did something bad, I wouldn't really care. But the Boo Birds will be out the first time the Eagles kind of struggle on offense. So y'all just wait. That's how Phillies fans are, or Philadelphia fans in general. But I think the Astros have a leg up. I think the Phillies can win. It's going to be fun to see what happens. I do like Aaron Nola. Aaron Nola is one of my favorite pitchers in all of baseball. I like his windup. I like the way he pitches. Zach Wheeler's been really, really good all year. Verlander is apparently I don't know if he's human or not. At some point, he's kind of like Tom Brady. At some point, his body has to start breaking down, but he's still throwing upper 90s. And I think he could win the Cy Young this year. I'm pretty sure he had it in the bag all year long until maybe there at the end. And I saw a power rankings list of everybody that's playing. And, of course, Bryce Harper was first because he's been ESPN's cover boy ever since he was like 14. But the next like 4 or 5 players were all Houston Astros. If you feel like Bryce Harper is the best player in this series, but the Astros have the next best 4 or 5 players, I think the Astros would take that. Now, personally, I believe the best player in the entire series is Yordan Alvarez. I think he's definitely one of the top 5 hitters in all of baseball. He kind of fell asleep last year in the World Series, and that made it a lot easier on the Braves, of course, after that really hot ALCS that he had. But if he's awake at all and the Astros play fairly decent baseball, I think they should be able to take down the Phillies. But, of course, like I said, that's what they've been saying the last few years. So hopefully Philly doesn't win. I just don't think they deserve any happiness at all. I'm not big on the entire state of Philadelphia. But we're going to go ahead and move to the third take. That's all I needed for baseball. I just want to talk about that for a minute. Titans struggle. Now, I'm going to go ahead and stop everybody just real quick. The Titans are 4-2. They have swept the Colts, who by most people's guesses are probably the best competition in the division. I know the Jaguars have played well. The Titans have not played them yet. But the Titans continue to look like a team that's going to lose in the playoffs. I know that they're finding ways to win right now, but they found a way to beat one of the lowest scoring offenses in all of football in the Colts last week. That Giants game, I still think about it every day. I know that they're 6-1. The Giants are much improved. They're playing great football. This past week was the first week this year that the Titans have scored in the fourth quarter. This offense is deplorable. It is terrible. And you can blame Downing. You can blame Robinson. You can blame Derrick Henry. I don't really care. I don't know exactly what the problem is. If I did know what the problems were, I'd let the Titans pay me to run the offense, and I'd love to try. But this offense is not going to win you playoff games. The Tennessee Titans might win every game for the rest of the year, go 15-2, probably have the first round bye again, whatever, home advantage, all that, and then score 13 points in the playoffs. They have a great defense. Great defense, but Harold Landry's out for the year. Bud Dupree, when he's on the field, is nuts. The Titans' defense is wonderful. Guess what? Defense no longer wins you championships if your offense sleepwalks for 60 minutes. The Titans are not going to be able to beat teams in the playoffs with this offense. Austin Hooper finally got a few catches. That was nice to see. I'm tired of watching a professional offense throw a football to Jeff Swaim, who I believe Jeff Swaim should be a second string tight end. He should be a run blocking tight end. That's what he's been most of his career. I'm not sure why he's out here running 12, 15 routes a game when you go out and you pay money for Austin Hooper, a guy that is a pass-catching tight end. You also draft the kid out of Maryland. I'm not even going to try and pronounce his name, Chiggy. That's what we're going to call him. You have two really good athletes that you can throw the ball to, but yet we throw the ball to the run-blocking tight end. There are a lot of problems with this offense, and I don't get it. Why didn't Dontrell Hilliard? Why didn't he touch the ball anymore? I know he dropped a pass. Hand him the ball a few times. I love Derek. You people that have been sitting here watching me, you know, for a long time, I've loved Derrick Henry since he was at Alabama. He's one of my favorite Crimson Tide players to ever watch, and I hate Alabama. And I loved watching Derrick Henry run then. When the Titans drafted him, I was super excited. They had just traded for DeMarco Murray, too. Ever since then, I've loved Derrick Henry. Why don't we hand the ball off to Dontrell Hilliard? He's also... Lord of mercy. I don't know if y'all heard that or not. Somebody driving around making all kinds of racket. But Dontrell Hilliard's really good. Bobby Trees got a few catches last week. I know Traylon Burks is still out. I understand that there are athletes on this team, and some of them may be hurt, but I don't want to see any more passes to Hollister. I don't want to see another pass thrown to Hollister. I like him. He might be a good guy, and he's a better receiver than I am. Congratulations. But there are other people on this team who can make plays if you give them the ball in space. And Todd Downing is the most neglectful offensive coordinator I have ever seen in my entire life. I like the fact that Derrick Henry's getting catches out in space. You see what he does when he gets the ball and he has more than 3 inches to go anywhere. Every time we hand him the ball, it's a zone left, zone right, and there's no blocking because all of the offensive linemen are backups. They were all – Raditz was supposed to be better than he's been. But Dennis Daly, Petit Frere, all of these guys, they're not ready. They were either drafted to be backups or they've been thrown in before they were supposed to. The offensive line isn't good. They're not blocking. The Titans continue to throw the ball to people like Jeff Swaim, and it honestly, it pisses me off. I'm sick and tired of watching it. Downing should be fired simply for ignorance. And I don't even mean like, don't fire Todd Downing because he's not good at his job. Fire Todd Downing because he should have never had the job. It's awful to watch. It's terrible football. And like I said, yeah, they're 4-2. They find ways to win. That's great. I could start a fight with a middle schooler and I'd find a way to win. That doesn't make me a good person. It doesn't make the Titans offense any good either. It's terrible. They're not going to win games when it matters. You're going to see another 10-win Tennessee Titans team, and if they get into the playoffs with this offense, you're going to see them go home early. I'm just telling you right now. So go ahead and get used to it if this is what happens all year long. Unless, I don't know, OBJ. I know somebody was talking about Odell Beckham Jr. Why not bring him in? Go get everybody. Anybody that – ask Todd Gurley if he wants to play. Maybe we can throw him the ball. Go see if Randy Moss will come back out of retirement. Honestly, I don't care. Go find somebody else to throw the ball to. I'm tired of throwing the ball to kids that look like they're on junior varsity for Brentwood Academy. So, yeah, I'm upset about it. I'm upset. I'll get over it. Again, Titans 4-2. Congratulations. You're a good football team. You're not going to win when it matters. So I got to turn my phone back on. For some reason, the screen went off. I'm going to do, we're going to go to commercial first when y'all come back. Then we're going to do the DMA read. And then we're going to finish it off with high school sports. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, so y'all stay right here with us. All right, let's go to commercial.
Here at Dixon Medical Associates, we've got you covered from neck to toe. Our orthopedics team offers services in sports medicine, foot and ankle reconstruction, spinal surgery, and more. We also have in-house imaging and physical therapy. Dixon Medical Associates. We specialize in what moves you.
Casey's Take, brought to you by DMA Orthopedics and Dr. Anthony Tropiano. Dr. Anthony Tropiano provides patients with prompt, effective treatment using the best technology available and in a manner that is compassionate and understanding of their needs. Dr. Tropiano is a board-certified orthopedic surgeon. Call 615-441-4522 today. That's 615-441-4522. I don't know about y'all, but I sound good when I say that. I'm just telling you right now, I'm going to toot my own horn. We're going to get into high school sports. It is the last week of regular season football for the high school teams. Creekwood's on the road against Lawrence County. That'll be Friday. We're sending Shane Rye out there to shoot some photos for us. I'm going to be at the Dixon County game Friday. They've got Antioch here at home. I think the Cougars got a big chance to get a really big win, maybe grab some momentum going into the offseason. It has not been the type of year I think Jeff Tomlinson wanted in his first season here at Dixon County, but he kind of took what he get. You have to take what you get. And like I said, if they can get a big win tonight, take some momentum into the offseason, who knows? Maybe next year it'll be a little bit better for the Cougars. But I do think they should probably smash Antioch tonight. Or Friday night, excuse me. I think they should beat Antioch pretty good. Flex their muscles and feel good about themselves, like I said, going into the offseason. Creekwood's game against Lawrence County. If you look at a lot of the similar opponents, it's kind of a toss-up. And I said in my pick'ems that I kind of felt like they're probably evenly matched teams, but the two main differences for me is the fact that Lawrence County's at home, but Creekwood is playing very good football. Their defense has been insane the last few weeks. So, and of course, hometown kid, I went ahead and wrote down that I thought Creekwood was going to win, and I think they will. I think they're playing better football. Lawrence County might win, but I went with Creekwood. I think it's going to be could be a close game. It all comes down to how strong that Creekwood defense is again this week. Over on the Cheatham County side of things, Harpeth is on the road. They've got a road game way off in the middle of nowhere. I think it's like not Watertown, but Trousdale, or it's not either one of those two because they've already played them, but it's something like that. And then Cheatham is at home. I think they've got Fairview. That may be a rough one because Cheatham's no, they played Fairview earlier in the year. Stewart County. Excuse me. It's not Fairview. It's Stewart County. Cheatham's playing Stewart County. Cheatham's going to win that football game. Has not been good this year. Cheatham County has been pretty good at seizing opportunities. So when they play some of the lower teams, they've been able to play really well. They were able to beat Glencliff. They were able to beat White House Heritage. I think the Cubs play really well this week. I think they get them a win in the final game of the year. It is going to be the end of their season. Harpeth is in the playoffs. They've got a chance to move up to the second seed in Region 5. Or Region 6 maybe. But Sycamore, they're at home. I knew who they were playing 5 seconds ago. It was in my head. I think I picked Sycamore to win as well. But we will have photographers at the Sycamore game. We're going to have Joe Burns. That's who it is. We're going to have photographers at the Cheatham game. And then I believe we're going to have a writer at the Harpeth game. So we're going to have somebody at all the games this week. That's going to be awesome. That just makes it so much better for, the print paper stuff. And I know all the mamas and papas like to see their kids in the paper. So hopefully we can get a bunch of photos and get some really nice stories done this week, especially for the teams that are going to be done. But we do have 3 teams that are going to be in the playoffs. We're just going to try and figure out the seeding and stuff after this week. So y'all come back next week and we'll talk about that. I'll kind of walk y'all through the playoff matchups and stuff. But before we get out of here, Lily Killebrew and Jackson Martin have both qualified for the state tournament from Creekwood for cross country. I tried to find some stuff on Cheatham kids for cross country, and I couldn't find anything. Now, there are some teams that still haven't put in their information yet. So there may be kids that have qualified for state from the Cheatham area. I just haven't seen it yet. Dixon County, the same thing. I actually have to go out there later today. I'm going to meet with Coach Hickerson and some of those kids, and hopefully get a photo and get to talk to a few of them, do a little write up, and let everybody know exactly who all is going to be competing next week for a state tournament. Creekwood just had the Lady Redhawks won last Friday. They won a state tournament for volleyball. It's Creekwood's first state tournament championship for a team. Which is it was actually a really surreal moment. I know a lot of those kids. Y'all know that I coached the bowling team at Creekwood. I've known a lot of those kids for a long time, and I know the coach. I know the parents better than the kids. I don't really know a lot of the athletes, but you get to know them as you cover them throughout the year. But that was a really surreal moment, and I thought that was awesome for Creekwood. The only bad thing, and this is what I told, I told Marty and some of the other guys that were up there while we were covering it. The only bad thing was Creekwood won on homecoming, so there just weren't a whole lot of kids that were there. I think it would have been awesome to have a lot more of the Creekwood student section there to get to witness that win, but can't really change that now. But like I said, awesome for Creekwood. Dixon County volleyball made it to sectionals. Sycamore volleyball made it to sectionals. Harpeth volleyball has always been strong. Cheatham County Central volleyball just got a new coach. Coach Garrett, she took over this past season. We got a lot of good volleyball being played in the area. Soccer, a few of the soccer teams made it pretty far, but nobody was really able to make it through the region tournament. Like I said, we got cross country. Football's next week. Bowling just started. I can't believe I was about to forget about bowling. Creekwood Bowling, which I'm an assistant coach of. We bowled our first match on Monday against Dixon. The Lady Redhawks were able to beat Dixon County, and the Creekwood Redhawks, the boys, we were also able to beat Dixon County. So, of course, Dixon beat Creekwood last year. The boys did. So nice to get a little bit of a revenge on them. So. That's going to be a fun matchup to watch for the rest of the year. Dixon versus Creekwood in bowling. I don't know if any of y'all care about bowling. I don't care if any of you want to watch, but if Creekwood's got to go to Thunder Alley to face Dixon here in a few weeks, if you've got some free time, you're going to want to go out there and watch that, because it is the most electric environment in bowling. And it's 2 really good teams that I think have a chance to wind up at state. So, kudos to that Dixon team. They're nuts. They're very good. But y'all, thanks for hanging out with me. Follow me on CVP51. Like I said, I set this thing up on a box, so I've got a little bit of a different angle. I think it makes me look skinnier. I don't know if that's true or not, but y'all let me know if I'm right or wrong. Give me a follow on Twitter at CVP51, or comment down here on Facebook or whatever. Let me know what you think. You want to complain and argue and gripe with me, do that too. So y'all have a good evening, and we'll see you next week.